Listen, you keep ending up with the same type of man in a different body. Just so you know, this is not bad luck, but it is a pattern that we have to break. And what I'm going to do is show you how to break that pattern for good. Because the goal isn't to just pick better. The goal is to become the version of yourself, the version of you that can't be picked wrong anymore.
I was a fool to begin, trying to bargain again. My love to you, but I know better now. Damn it, every rolling out, just to give it all.
So let's get into it. Now, let me define the wrong man so that you have an understanding of what that looks like because you've seen it before. Now, the wrong man is the one who starts off strong, talks big, makes you feel chosen. And then a few weeks later, you're confused, you're anxious, you're overthinking, and you're auditioning for basic respect. And the hard truth about this is you're not stupid, and we know this. You're not desperate, and you're not too much. We get that. But all of that will make you feel like you are. But what I want you to understand is that you're operating from an old blueprint. You're operating from old wounds, old survival habits, and an old definition of what you think love is or what you think love looks like. And so today I'm giving you 3 shifts that stop that cycle in its tracks. So don't worry, it's not the fluffy healing talk, even though that's always needed. I'm giving you real moves that you can apply today, right now, or you can apply later whenever you're ready. So let's be honest. A lot of us call what we feel chemistry when it's really our nervous system activation. And we don't know the difference because we're used to what we call chemistry. But that nervous system activation is what feels like an instant spark. It feels like the butterflies. It feels like the obsession, the need to be chosen. And that's not always love. Not saying that sometimes it isn't, but it's not always love. And sometimes that is unpredictability and emotional unavailability. Sometimes it's inconsistency and love bombing that floods your brain with dopamine. And what that does is that your body gets addicted to the roller coaster. And we don't want it addicted to the roller coaster. So here's the shift. Stop asking, do I feel a spark? And start asking, do I feel safe and steady in this relationship or in this situation? Because the right man won't have you guessing. He won't have you checking your phone like it's the stock market. Like he won't have you consistently checking your phone. Here are some green flags I want you to start choosing. Ignore the red flags, choose the green flag. So he follows through without being reminded. Green flag. His effort doesn't drop off after he gets you. His communication stays consistent over time. He doesn't punish you with his silence, and that's a big one. Understand that secure love is repetitive, and to the unhealed version of you, secure love can feel boring. But that's the trick of the mind, of your nervous system, because your nervous system is used to chaos. Let me say it clearly. If he makes you anxious at the beginning of your situation or your relationship or dating, he's not going to magically make you peaceful later. Most women don't pick the wrong man because they don't have standards. They pick the wrong man because they set standards after they're emotionally invested in the man. That's when the negotiation starts. For example, you say, well, maybe he's just busy. He's not ready yet. He said he's working on it. He's never had a woman like me. Like, all of those negotiation tactics we tell ourselves when a man acts like, when a man pulls back. But let me tell you something, you are not a rehabilitation center. So here's what changes the game when it comes to that. Decide what you require before the feelings get deep. It's really as simple as that. But that can be hard for some of us. So this is why it takes training. So not your wish list, but your requirements. Because requirements and your wish list is definitely different. What are your non-negotiables? Like emotional consistency, respect during conflict, clear intentions, aligned values, accountability, which is a big one, and effort that matches their word. And so the part that matters just as much is that you enforce it clearly. Like you have to enforce it in order for it to work. Because a wrong man doesn't need 6 months to reveal himself. What they do is they reveal themselves the first time you say, hey, this doesn't work for me. Or when you say, no, I don't think so. When you tell them no, or when you're not going with the flow with them, they show you who they really are. So, a man's reaction to your boundaries is your answer. If you state a need and he argues, dismisses, guilt trips, ghosts, or gets defensive, that's not miscommunication. That's your future. So take heed, observe, and realize what you're getting yourself into before you get yourself in too deep. Now, this one might step on some toes, but I love us. I love you enough to tell you the truth. That's why I'm here. So, a lot of women pick the wrong man or the wrong person because they fall in love with the person's trauma. They fall in love with the person's trauma story. They fall in love with the person's charm, their potential, who the person could be if they healed. Keyword there is if. But potential is not partnership. And I think that's the part that we miss a lot of times. You cannot build a future with a man or a person you have to convince to show up for you, for y'all, as a couple, as a unit. The right man doesn't require you to translate basic respect. Like we're both adults here. He doesn't require you to beg for clarity. He doesn't require you to perform to be loved. They love you because you're you. So the rule is only invest deeper when there is proof. So what the proof looks like is consistent effort over time, emotional maturity in hard moments, actions matching words, accountability without excuses. Because a wrong man is usually amazing at talking, promising, and performing. That is until responsibility shows up. If you have to keep wondering if he likes you, he's not your person. He's not your man. They're not your person. Here's the recap. Stop choosing chemistry. Choose consistency. What does their consistency look like? Are they consistently being unreliable, or are they consistently showing up for you in a way that you need? Set your non negotiables before you're attached to them and date proof, not the potential that you've created within your mind. And if you're thinking, girl, I know this, but I still repeat the pattern, that means you don't need more information. You need rewiring. And that's why I'm here. So, what I want you to do is follow for more secure woman energy, because we don't chase, we choose. And if you're ready to go deeper, make sure you grab my book. I am posting, put a picture here, grab my book. And if you need something a little bit deeper, go to my link, book a clarity and confidence session so we can pinpoint your patterns and build your personal never again standard. So, what I want you to do is drop this in the comments. I choose peace because the one thing we are is done with entertaining the same lesson in a different name, the same person in a different font. I am your Lifestylist K, your secure woman mentor, and I'll see you on the next video.